Hi, guys. It is Memorial Day weekend, and dang, this flag is not big enough either. Okay. Well, Trey wants this one for his apartment. Anyway, so problem solved. Okay. So, happy Memorial Day. Um, my brother served, and I'm grateful that he came back. But, he came back from Korea, and there were people who didn't come back. So, reach out to somebody that or some family affected, because today is all about what what we're celebrating is their loss, what they lost because of this. Well, that didn't help a thing. Okay. Technical difficulties. I almost didn't have this tonight, but there's so much stinking news to tell you. Okay, first I have to tell you about my customer in Rome. So I told you last week, hey, Rochelle, I told you last week that I had a customer, and two couples went, and they were getting ready to get on the cruise. And lo and behold, one of the two couples' wives tested positive. So she stayed in a COVID hotel, and her husband came home. So that client came in, said hello to me this week, and told me all about the experience, which I'll tell you more about later. But I really want to interview her. I said, you need to come onto my show on a Monday night and tell the world what it's like to travel right now and to get COVID and have to stay in a COVID hotel. So she agreed. But I will tell you, the hotel that she stayed at was one of 6 COVID hotels in Rome, and it was a former Sheraton property. And so since the pandemic, this Sheraton had not reopened. But, you know, I said, tell me what it was like. And she said, it was like a Sheraton that had not been touched for a couple of years. And that's where we stayed. She said it was very adequate. They fed her 3 meals a day, and the medical team came around twice a day to do vitals and, make sure that if people were feeling okay. So that worked. Um, she said one day she ate mystery meat, and she showed me pictures, and it looked like a stew. And I'm not sure if I would have eaten it. I did tell her that since I did her travel insurance, that she could have, she could spend up to $200 a day. And she said, oh man, if I would have known that, I would have called. Um, it's not Grubhub there, but that's what it is. It's a order from your local eateries and have it delivered. She said she did that a couple of times. And it was funny because the lady kind of across the hall and one door down from her got to leave 2 days before she did. And she said that that she gave her all of her extra stuff. It was toilet paper, it was a bottle of wine, that sort of thing. So she goes to the airport excited to come home, and the other couple meet her there. They've been on the cruise the whole time she has been in a COVID hotel for 10 days. And so they come back, and the wife of the couple who went on the cruise tested positive. So Beverly is now in a COVID hotel, but at least she got to talk to her friend, and she told her all about, what to expect. And, I saw pictures of the inside. It had marble walls in the foyer. It was not a dump. Um, I can remember telling you guys a story. Oh, goodness. As soon as the Barcelona departure started, so it must have been in April, that a couple went over for their 40th anniversary. And when they got there, the wife tested positive, and she had to stay, or they had to stay in a apartment that, to me, the best description I can give you is like, it looked like a tenant building, long, narrow hallways, doors on each side, and boarded walls. It looked scary. And so I'm very thankful that she was able to prepare her friend and let her know it's a decent place. The food, she said some of the food was really, really good. And she did take a picture of the cheesecake that she had ordered from from a suggestion from the front desk. So more and more to tell you about that. But today has been a day of travel chaos, with over 3,000 flights canceled or delayed. 841 flights were actually canceled, and the other 2,400 and whatever's left were delayed. There is weather, there are delays all over. So, one of the reasons, or one of the things that sets Action Travel apart from others, is we issue our tickets right in the office. So let's say that you are on that flight coming from Buffalo back to Raleigh today, and that flight is canceled. You can pick up the phone and you can call me, and I have control of that reservation. Nick, who goes to Greece every year, we used to buy his ticket from wholesalers, but once or twice he got stuck because his name is on a list that, I don't know, he always gets pulled over to be searched and stuff. And he got delayed one time and his flight got canceled. And whoever issues that ticket has to change it for you. So to reach that person, it happened to be on a weekend, to reach that company on a weekend was a challenge. Just like if you book at Expedia.com, if you have a challenge, you can't just call the airline and make the change. You have to call your travel agent. And if you book on Expedia, you have to call Expedia and then get in line for a call to get through to Expedia, and then let Expedia get in line to make the call to the vendor to fix the situation. It is just a little different step. Okay, so let me tell you, I had to tell you about what the COVID situation was for my passengers and how we are dealing with it. And thankfully for our situation, it's not so bad. Okay, this week, Carnival had situations. If you watched the news this week, you probably saw the Carnival funnel on fire, and that was from a big fire that they had. Thankfully, they were in Grand Cayman, and they were already ported, and so they were allowed to get off and go explore the island, do whatever they wanted to do. And the crew were able to put out the fire. Fire is still listed as unknown at the moment. They were doing a lot of painting on this ship. You know, it used to be something you saw commonly when you were in port, that they were painting the whole of the ship, or painting banisters or whatever. And they haven't done that for a couple years, and this ship is back on the water, and they were saying that it could have been fumes from the paint smell that ignited that fire. Anyway, everybody was fine. Everybody was evacuated. And the Conquest ship came to the Grand Cayman and picked up all of those passengers and brought them back to Port Canaveral. So, but the second thing that happened to Carnival this week is going out of Norfolk. The ship out of Norfolk left, and on day 2, they got a lot of complaints with people saying that there were chemical smells. Again, not sure truly what it is or what it was. They evacuated people from those floors. The cruise continued. The cruise has still continued, and it will be back in the port of Norfolk shortly. Who knows? Who knows? You're on a big ship and you're in the middle of the water, and I have no idea. But 2 little things. And then, not that Carnival had the only problems this week, Royal Caribbean had a second ship to hit a pier. Like the Radiance, the ship that we want to do for Alaska, hit a pier in Skagway just the last week. And and this week, the Harmony was backing up and they hit one. They just sunk a pylon in Jamaica. So it happens. It happens to all of them. Did you know that this week is Hurricane Awareness Week? And while we don't have one yet, it is touted to be an active season. Um, on the West Coast, let's say, all right, good gracious. All right, let's say that hurricane's coming into the West Coast. It's such a narrow part of land that when a storm comes in here as a typhoon, if it crosses over and gets into the Gulf of Mexico, then it changes from a typhoon to a hurricane. It's a typhoon called Agatha right now that is coming into the West Coast. And if it crosses the land and makes it to the Gulf of Mexico, our first hurricane of the season will be called Alex. So watch that. Another reason to take travel insurance. I will share quickly with you. When I booked this trip for the family that have just experienced COVID in Rome, they booked their cruise on their own. He was just coming to me to get the airfare to Rome. And as we looked at insurance altogether, I said, you really ought to insure the whole trip, because travel insurance with Royal Caribbean covers you for Royal Caribbean, and this covers you for everything. We probably did pay about $100 more than the Royal Caribbean insurance to insure the entire trip, the business class air, the hotels for 3 nights, and some tours before they got to the ship. But the big point I'm trying to make is, had he stayed with the Royal Caribbean insurance and not taken the insurance that we offered to cover the entire trip, all of these expenses would have been out of pocket, because Royal Caribbean's insurance does not cover until you get on a Royal Caribbean sanctioned, even the transfer. If you got on the transfer and you were then part of Royal Caribbean, then their insurance would cover it. But he never made it to the ship. He never made it to the transfer. So that being the case, Royal Caribbean's insurance wouldn't have done anything in this situation. I just think that's a huge thing for people to think about when you're booking your own stuff. Cool, book your own stuff. I'm happy to just be your travel insurance travel agent. Let me know. All right, so hi, Tawana. All right, Tawana, it's really crappy today. I know you're going to say something about my hair. It looks bad. We went to the pool, and this is what you get after the pool. I just didn't do anything else. I hope that you can take it. Hey, and Rochelle said it was due to the paint fumes on the Magic, that's what caused the fire at the funnel. It did burn more than half of it off. And so pretty hard to see. All right. And then Lisa Thomas, and Lisa loves to cruise, and I love to send them. All right. So exciting promotions that are going on. All right. You know that if you're in the military, there are many cruise lines that provide discounts to you. If you are a first responder, Royal Caribbean offers first responder discounts. There are a lot of places that, particularly this time of year, if there's something that you're thinking about going on, let me know, and we will certainly ask, because many merchants from around the world right around this time are offering great deals for people who have served. Easy Rider, or Eagle Rider, is one of those. And if you want to rent a Harley Davidson, one of the new 22s, they have just increased their stock with the 2022 Lowrider ST or the new Road Glide ST. And you can rent them. It's really cool out west. That's the only place that I've rented them for somebody before. And they flew into Vegas and they drove up to Reno and dropped it off. That'd be a pretty cool ride, I think. Anyway, another exciting promotion that I had not seen was Viking Cruise Line is going to do sailings from Toronto into the Great Lakes. And that would be a very safe thing for people who don't want to go out of the country yet. Well, it's Toronto, it's not too far out of the country. So, anyway, they have only 324 guests on that ship. And so that would be a great alternative if you're still dying to get on those cruise ships and you don't want to be at now they're all running about at 48% occupancy. Although I will tell you that the one who caught fire this week was at 85% occupancy. Now's the time. Okay. I do want to tell you, do you remember I'm telling you about all of the Crystal cruises that people were stuck and they had to get off in Bimini? Well, guess what? Ganting Cruises, who owned Crystal, whose ships were seized, somehow they have started and executed a new cruise line, and it's called Resort World. Resort World is starting up in the Orient, in Asia, and it's going to serve those markets first. Resort World, you've probably seen it before. They have a big place in Las Vegas. They also own resorts in other places, small places like Bimini. They have a resort there as well. So it's kind of convenient to go there to disembark ships at their own property. Anyway, that wasn't known at the time, or I didn't know it. Anyway, okay, off to something else. The two Crystal ships, one 250 million and one 350 million, are going on auction. And you can bid on a ship. Hey, Stephen, you can bid on a ship because on the 7th of June, those two ships are going up for auction. If you search for Crystal Cruise Lines, it will be listed there. It is a Bahamas company, holding company, that is in charge of that. So I don't know. What would you bid? I know that the Carnival ships were pennies on the dollar. So $500,000? What do you think of that? And I started to say I'll end it on this, but I won't end it because I don't like to end on a low note. But this epidemic of people jumping off cruise ships is continuing. Another 40-year-old lady jumped off of a cruise ship this week from a Celebrity Soulless sailing. It was between Juneau and Skagway. And, you know, it's frigidly cold there. May is still considered, you know, it's temperate weather. And so she probably didn't last and they didn't find her. But it is sad that this is the choice so many people are making. I hate to report on that. Well, so many people are going to Europe this year. I have people who are flying home today. I have clients who are leaving tomorrow. And just a few things. Pack light, because if you're stuck or stranded or have to stay extra days, take an extra 7 days of medicine. It's very convenient that passengers going in are having one big roll on, and that's all that they have to keep up with. If you had that in a backpack, I think that'd be golden. Unless you're traveling into Florence. In Florence, because it's now a fully pedestrian city, if you're traveling into Florence, you're dragging everything that you took with you. If you have a big bag, you're dragging it. And if you have a rollerboard that you took on the flight with you, you're dragging it, because buses can get about the distance of 3 blocks to the major hotels in that area. Well, guys, I think I just talked a little bit long tonight. I hope you had a great day. I am thankful that the passengers that I have traveling, everything in the world is all right with them right now. Stephen, I have to put my glasses on to read it. Okay, thanks, Steve. Well, like, I had clients who came in this week and said, okay, we're leaving. What are some of the last minute things? And I said, okay, last minute things. Take a picture of where you park. Why? It's one less thing you have to remember. Just one less thing off of your reign, especially if you're going to be gone 27 days like these people. 2, take a picture of your passport, day of departure. I want a copy of all of my travelers who are traveling right now. I was able to assist in replacing a passport when a purse was stolen, because I had a copy of the passport. Just let me have one. I will take care of it, and it will be in responsible hands. Number 3, I said to take extra medication, because, if you're going on a 14-day cruise, you probably take a 14-day number of pills of whatever you're taking. But the lady who is in the COVID hotel this week, she has run out of her arthritis pills. And so her husband is requesting wheelchair assistance to get her home, because that's the one thing that they could not provide her. So, all right, guys, I think I'm headed back to the pool. That was another reason I didn't do too much to my hair. Sorry. It'll be better next week. Love you guys. Let me know if you have questions. I will tell you that things are super busy. I am appointment after appointment after appointment on Fridays and Saturdays. So if you want some of that time, you better give me a buzz. All right. Ciao. Have a great week. And remember to be thankful for the ones that we have who made it home, and remember the families who are suffering and whose loss can never be forgotten, for the ones who didn't make it home. Thanks. See ya.